I'm living, I'm learning, I'm sharing. Hey everyone, happy Friday. Woo! I am so glad to be here. I have worked on Fabric Wheel of Fate number 6 fabric, which is still a lot right here, but I finished it and I am so excited. Woo! You know what? I'm living, I'm learning, I'm sharing. I am. I decided to do a sew with me with this, and I haven't, it's going to be right after me speaking here. And I made mistakes and I left them in there because I made them and I did them. And I just wanted to I know I'm not the only one that has made these mistakes. I'll let you see it for yourself. I just could not believe looking at myself do it. I looked at myself and I saw it. I'm like, But I did finish, and I am excited about it because it's very, very comfortable. I love it. And it is something I have made already. I've made it already, and I wanted to make it again. But before I get to that, showing you that, I want to ask you, what would you like to see on this channel from me? I know where my thoughts kind of go sometimes, and sometimes they're all over the place, but I want to know, what would you like to see on this channel from me? Please put it in the comments so that I can look at that and see if that's something that I can do. I want to share more of my plus size journey and how to help ladies who are plus size, also who go through struggles that plus size people tend to go through. We do have our own issues. We do. And I just want to know what it is that you would like to see. Please, please, please put it in the comments. So other than that, I finished that. Life is good. It's getting hot, and I'm already ready for my air conditioning to be on. I turned my heat on for the days, but now it's getting hot during the day, and it's time to turn the AC on. All right, let me see. I was trying to see if there was anything else that I needed to say to you. Yeah, I told you about that. I have another video coming up next week. I would like to post on Tuesdays and Fridays. It's a goal. I'm going to do my best at doing that. But I want to, like I said, I want to know what it is that you'd like to see. Would you like to see more story time? Would you like to see like hands-on, how to do that? How do I make that type of videos? Because like I said, I'm living, I'm learning, I'm sharing. And that's what I want to do. So I'm not going to hold you. I'm going to send you over to this video, to the next part, and then I'll see you at the end and you get to see what I made. Actually, I'll just show you the pattern and then you can see it all done at the end. Ta-da! Yes, I made the skirt again and I love it. Okay, keep watching. Hey everyone, this is Zelda, and I am working on Butterick 3039. I have made the skirt before in a different fabric, but view D here is what I'm going to make. And I'm just gonna take you along with me as I sew this. It's very simple. It's a front, a back, and pockets, and elastic, and that's it. But for someone who does not know how to sew, or just a beginning to sew type of project, this would be a great pattern to start with. And plus it has so many different other options. You have tunics, you have the camp style type shirt, or you can wear it open, you can wear it as a long dress. You have pants, you have long pants and like calf length pants. I think it's great. Okay, here are the instructions. I'm just gonna skip this right here. It starts right, skirt D and pants E and F, but skirt D, view D, you're going to stitch the back sections together at the center back, leaving an opening at the bottom. I personally do not like splits, so I'm not going to be leaving that open. All right, and then next you're going to come up here. You're going to stitch 2 pocket sections to the front at each side in a 1/4 of an inch seam, and then press the seams toward the pockets. I put on here wrong side, right side, because the indicator on the other page, it showed it on the other page, but that way I wouldn't get confused with pockets. I don't know. Even something simple can throw you off. All right, you're going to stitch the remaining pocket sections to the back at each side in a 1/4 of an inch seam. Press seams toward the pockets. Then you're going to, right here, let me put that down so you can see that better. Stitch the front and back together at the sides, leaving an opening at the upper large circles. That's so that you can have the ability to put your hand in your pocket once you've sewn this together. You're going to stitch the pocket edges together to the side seams and clip 1 front and back seam allowance above and below pockets. So that's right in here. All right, then you're going to turn your pockets toward the front along seam lines. Press based upper edge in place. And then this right here goes on to E and F. We're not doing that. And then the rest of all views, the casing, you turn to form the casing for the elastic. You're going to turn the edge, upper edge of the garment to the inside along fold line, turning in a 1/4 of an inch on the raw edge. Stitch as shown, leaving an opening. Stitch again close to upper edge. And then you're going to insert your elastic with whatever method you like to use. If you like to use a safety pin, you can do that. I use a bodkin. And then it just says stitch the elastic while stretching. And this is your hem, a narrow hem at the lower edge of the garment. And I will do that. No split though for me. And then the garment, you can top stitch it, hem along upper basting. You can do that as well. And that is it. It is done. So I'll take you over to the sewing machine in just a moment. Okay, we are working on the back sections here, and I have sewed the 2 back pieces together. I have this on the wrong side. And what I have done is pinned my pocket, pretty sides together. And I had it marked right in here. This is where the dots are. I use chalk instead of using the scissors. I do have a little slip right into here, but that is where we will sew the pocket. And it says, let me come over here, stitch 2 pocket sections to front at each side in a 1/4 of an inch 6mm seam. Press seams toward pockets. So I'm going to go ahead and clip these, put these over here too, so you can see that. So I'm going to go ahead and sew this right down here, 1/4 of an inch on the sewing machine. and I'll be right back.
But it was sewn to the wrong side. Literally the wrong side.
Okay, before I start, I want to make sure that I have my needle position to where I can sew just 1/4 of an inch seam allowance, and I have my seam guide ruler. This is got some of the numbers wiped off, but 1/4 of an inch hole is right there. So what I like to do is put it underneath the foot. See exactly where. And if it's beyond, I mean, in here, like beyond the right side of the foot, I have to move my needle position over. And that's exactly what I'm getting ready to do. Move my needle position over so that I can sew 1/4 of an inch. And that's done over on the other side of my. You have a button on yours where you should be able to move your needle position. And then I just test it and it goes down, so it's fine. I don't go all the way down. I just bring it down to see where the needle goes. What I usually do, actually, I'm going to bring it back down again here. And then I bring my guide over to match it. That way I know that's exactly 1/4 of an inch. Okay, and I can go ahead and sew. Okay, so that is done. I'm going to go press this material. It's polyester, very hard to press, but I'm going to attempt to do it anyway so that I can understitch. I do not believe, let me see if they recommend understitching. I do not believe so. I just stitch remaining pocket sections to back at each side in 1/4 of an inch seam. Press seams toward pockets. So I'm going to go ahead and get that and I'll be right back. All right, I've ironed this, pressed it away to the pocket. And so what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be stitching on the right side of the pocket so that I will stitch down this seamed area, and then that way when the pocket is in, it will form, it will shape nicely. You don't have to worry about your pocket flipping out. I left my stitch length where it is just for now. Actually, I'm going to bring it over. I'd rather bring it over. That way I can see through this. See if I can get you any closer. Well, I'll zoom in. I'm going to bring my needle over. Okay, so now it's lined up with the open area right here where I can see. And then bring my needle down one, make sure I am in the right area. And then I'm going to go ahead and stitch. And it doesn't have to be difficult. I wanted to make this because when I first started sewing, I was terrified of making pockets. And I left out pockets because I just didn't think I could do it. So now I'm showing you how to do it. I'm going to take this one, I'm going to flip it up this side so that, let me show you that I did press it. It doesn't press very well, but it is a little crease in there. So you take this and flip this over, and you make sure that your joined seam area is down. And this is kind of coming up a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and line this up so that my needle will punch through on the pocket side and not on the back side. Okay, now that's done. And now I'll do the same thing for the other side. I bring you back to the table because I did what I was not supposed to do, and I sewed the pocket onto the wrong side of the fabric. So what I'm doing here, I had extra. That's great. I'm cutting out another set of pocket, and hopefully, let me see, I want to use my rotary cutter here. Okay. Okay.
Here I'm making sure that my one
And when you're sewing,
will fit.
I'm not watching the needle.
The casing.
I'm watching actually where I set this groove, the seam, just to the right, so that it'll catch the pocket and the seam underneath. So that way, when it's empty, it will fall nicely in. And I have it on the right side this time. Yay! Okay. Step is to stitch front and back together at sides, leaving an opening between the large circles. Stitch pocket edges together to side seams. Clip one front and back seam allowances. Allow above and below pockets. Okay. So I'm going to go put these together over on the table here. I'll bring you right over there with me. Okay, so now I have my front piece here on the right side. I'm going to take my back piece and put the pretty side down and clip these together.
But here I'm showing you that the pockets are completed, and all it needs is a very good press before I start on putting in the elastic in the waist and then hemming the bottom, which I'm going to roll up and stitch a straight stitch all the way around.
I have pressed this down and I'm going to stitch it down. This is the top of the skirt. Start in the corner. You put this through, pin the bottom, and work it through. Yes. Okay. Back in. Put your stuff back away so you don't lose it. And here it is. I just half tucked it, so I've seen that look on people. I'm like, oh, I have pockets. Here's the side view. A little up in the back there, but that's okay. It is a garment now. It's not a piece of fabric sitting in my sewing room. And another lovely garment from my fabric wheel of fate. I have finished it all. I love it. That's it. I love it. And you're not getting away without a scripture. No, no, no. I believe is Psalm 1. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. That's all I'm going to do because that's all I remember of it. I had that whole, the whole Psalm 1 memorized at one time, and now my brain is like, oh, but I remember that part. Blessed, blessed, blessed. I pray that you have a blessed day, evening, or night, whenever you're watching this. Thanks so much for watching, and please come back again and maybe watch